in order to set foot on campus. Wonder if he's going to require that of every person attending the All-Star game that he stole from Atlanta. Join me at 4.
All right, if you ingest a lot of conservative media, especially Fox News, and I do. I watch a lot of other things, too. I watch a lot of CNN and MSNBC, just so that you don't have to, but so that I understand how everybody's thinking in this country, or at least some of the left-wing nuts. But if you watch conservative media, you probably caught a story about a book, and in particular about Kamala Harris's book that was published a couple of years ago entitled Superheroes Are Everywhere. And the story from the New York Post said that illegal immigrant children were being given a copy of Kamala Harris's book as part of a welcome kit when they arrived illegally in the United States of America. And I actually heard an interview yesterday where one of the Fox hosts asked former senior DHS dude Ken Cuccinelli, who used to be the Attorney General of the state of Virginia, and then he worked in DHS for the Trump administration. I forget his exact title, but very senior, top couple of guys at Homeland Security. And he said, this just seems like this weird, very petty kind of conflict of interest. And, it's so obvious. You have the vice president selling books to the government and giving them out to illegal alien children. Anyway, this is the way the story was making the rounds. And it turns out the story is a lie. And what actually happened was there was a bunch of stuff that was donated to Border Patrol, ICE, to give to these kids that are showing up and don't have anything to play with or read, anything to do. They're sitting around. And so a bunch of people donated a bunch of stuff to give to kids. And one of the things that was in the pile of donations was a copy of Kamala Harris's book. And somebody caught a picture of Kamala Harris's book sitting there with some stuff near, one of the illegal alien kids at one of the ICE holding facilities. And they turned it into a story saying that all of the illegal alien kids were being given these books. And it was complete BS. And it was everywhere on social media, right? It was talked about multiple times on Fox News yesterday. I think it came up on Tucker Carlson's show. Peter Doocy, who is the White House reporter for Fox News. And by the way, congratulations to Peter Doocy on getting married just in the past week or so, I think. But Peter Doocy asked Press Secretary Jen, I'll circle back, Psaki about this. And she didn't have any answers on it. She said, I don't know what you're talking about. And it turns out it was a hoax or a lie or something. Really quite embarrassing, actually, for the New York Post and probably for Fox News as well. And the reporter who wrote the story, her name is Laura Italiano. I'm sure she's of some kind of Russian or German or English heritage. I'm only guessing. Her name is Laura Italiano. And yesterday, at about 4 p.m. our time here in the Rocky Mountain time zone, she posted a few tweets. She said, "Today I handed in my resignation to my editors at the New York Post. The Kamala Harris story," meaning the story about this book, "an incorrect story I was ordered to write and which I failed to push back hard enough against, was my breaking point." She said, "It's been a privilege to cover the city of New York for its liveliest, wittiest tabloid, a paper filled with reporters and editors I admire deeply and hold as friends. I'm sad to leave." And a lot of people are asking her to name names, who ordered you to do this. Apparently she hasn't done that, but whatever. That's not my point. My point is that I think I understand this. I think I understand it. I don't know if I've ever read anything else by Laura Italiano. I don't know her. I don't think I know anyone who knows her. So this is pure speculation on my part. But I can imagine that somebody who's been a reporter for a long time and prides herself on doing a professional job as a journalist and not as a propagandist or a hack or a spinmeister or a tool of a political party, that when she finds herself having been, by her own admission, too easily manipulated into writing a piece of propaganda that's a lie, and as she said, realizes that she didn't push back hard enough when she knew it was the wrong thing to do, and she feels like, you know what? This industry is changing, and it's changing me, and I better step away from it before I cross a line that is a line I'll regret even more than this line. I better step away while I can. Better step away while I can. And I respect that. I don't know if she's going to go back to reporting somewhere else. I don't know if she's done enough and is going to retire or take on some other project. Again, I don't know this woman at all. But I'll tell you what I'm really, really glad of. I almost, myself, went with this story a little bit, at least, myself, yesterday morning when it came up. I didn't, and I don't know if it was because I didn't really believe it or I just didn't have time or something, but for whatever reason, I didn't talk about this book story yesterday, and then yesterday afternoon, this whole thing comes out that it was all fake. It was like one person saw one book and they turned it into a story about every illegal alien kid getting a book. So, you know what? This happened on the right, and I guess some editor pushed her to write a story that she either knew wasn't true or knew wasn't adequately proven to be written about, hadn't been demonstrated to be true, which should be for a story like that. But of course, since most of the media is dominated by the left rather than the right, most of the time when you get these lying articles, most of the time they come from the left. And when we come back, I got a doozy to share with you.
630 KHOW has your chance to win $1,000. Listen at 5.